1400. Nice day on tap. Rick's here, and Rick's part of the manager of the emergency department.
I am indeed.
Yeah, and I know you primarily when you stop into the Bijou Theater, so are we in emergency at the Bijou Theater? How are we doing?
We're not in emergency at the Bijou, but the Bijou is a wonderful place.
Yes.
We love going and watching movies there.
Well, we like that you said that. I threw you that softball to hit it out of the park, and you certainly did.
I drilled that softball.
Yes, you did. Over the fence in left field or right field?
Center.
Center
Actually,
field.
straight up, man.
Man, he's got power that I don't have. All right, we are talking about the emergency department is moving. Tell us a little bit about it.
So, I don't know if you've been to the emergency room of late, but our floors are having difficulties, we'll say, and it hasn't been updated at least in the last 11 years, really, that I've worked here at North Lincoln Hospital, and we need a little love. So on April 1st, I'll be in the emergency room at 5 o'clock in the morning to start moving stuff, and at 6 o'clock in the morning is officially when we barricade the old and move to the new. And we're just going to move down to the south end of the building to where our rehab department is right now, and start with uplifting and updating our emergency room. They on the 1st, Philips monitors, or the Philips company's coming in to pull new wire for our new monitoring system that we get in April also. And then on the 2nd, the floor guys from Liggett's are going to come in and rip up the floor and repair the floor, because right now, on a beautiful sunny day, if you stand in our department at one end and look at the sun coming through, you can see it waving right back at you. The floors are pretty ripply at this point. And they need some love. So we're gonna take up the old and put down some new, so to give it a little bit of a facelift.
That's great. And I'm thinking not only certainly the floors need a little love. Everybody, whenever I've been there much, been in the emergency room, you always have people that are doing their job, smiles on their faces, etc. I am sure when you give the facelift and the floors and the whole thing, the love, the employees, the people who work there are going to feel even better about the job, right?
I believe so. I've actually, I'm not making all the decisions myself. I'm actually going to my staff and asking them, what do you think of these colors? What do you think of these colors? What do you think of this color for the vinyl on the floors, the color on the walls?
Because they have to live with it.
Absolutely. And I don't want them to go, oh, Rick, really? Why did you? No. And one of the ladies in the ER told me is that right now we have these lovely green curtains up that make everyone look extremely pale. So I took that to heart, and rest assured, we're not putting green back up on our on our walls or the curtains.
Wow! I mean, how long? I mean, I'm sure you decided a while ago that the floors need love, the emergency room needs updating, etc. How long a process from when you folks decided to do it until you decided April 1st was the day you're going to do it? How long is that?
Oh,
quite a while.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we actually started talking about giving it some love and moving around a little bit and seeing what we could do to update things. And we just, once we finally decided, okay, this is when we're going to need to do it, it kind of correlated with the update in our monitoring system, our heart monitoring system that we're getting. We're trying to correlate the update of the department, the the facelift of the department with getting that new equipment in.
Right.
So we don't have a whole bunch of disruption for our our patients and clients that come in.
Sure.
But it all has to be done before May 13th, when we start training for the new electronic record that Samaritan Health has gone to. So,
okay.
I mean, we have this huge crunch deadline that we need to everything be done with before May 13th.
Well,
so.
and you have these two big events. I mean, you have to do this, and then you have to do the event starting in May. So you want to get one done and comfortable with one before you start the other, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's going to be multiple events. I mean, we're we're moving down, getting the facelift. We're moving back, and then Philips comes in and hangs new cardiac monitors, which all of the nursing staff get to learn how to use.
Right.
And then as soon as they're comfortable with that, sort of, then we start learning the new computer system. So it's from April 1st until about mid-July. It's going to be learn, use, new stuff. So it'll be fun.
Well, I love the idea of somebody, especially in your building, learning to be better, learning to be more efficient, learning to give the best service, etc., which is certainly what you're leaning on. The notes here talks about the fact that all the emergency services, ambulance, etc., they know where to go to for this new emergency room, moving for the period of time for about 2 weeks, which we'll get to in a minute. If somebody's listening right now and they've got to get to the emergency room, and of course, we always suggest here at AM 1400, information we put out, if you know your neighbor, for one reason or another, they work, they're not listening, something like that, I don't know why they're not listening, where do they go? If somebody has an emergency starting April 1st, April 2nd, and they can't call an ambulance for one reason or another, where do they go?
So if you're coming to the emergency room, follow the signs, really, is what I have to say. Liz from our public relations guru has created some wonderful signs. So if you follow the signs, that's going to be the best bet. But we are going to be at the south end of the building. We have 3 entrances to the hospital. The south entrance is going to be designated the emergency room entrance.
Okay.
And so if they go up the south ramp, right there underneath the big red banners, you're going to walk in the door, and there's going to be signage saying turn left. And it's going to be right there where our rehab is right now.
Okay.
They're going to be moving down to the coastal clinic for a period of time while they get a facelift also. So just go to the south entrance of the building there, and there's going to be plain signage everywhere. So, and during the business hours, during like 8 to 4 in the day, our volunteers from our hospital, our wonderful volunteers, are going to be stationed strategically at that entrance saying, where do you need to go? If you need to go to the emergency room, you're here. If you need to go to wherever, and we're going to have actually maps, additional, right now there's maps there, but they will be tweaked such that you can see where you need to go for the short period of time, and then we'll put the other maps back out. So there'll be maps available also.
Yeah, and that's great, because as many signs as you have, and you do when I've been in there, if you're in an emergency, your brain is maybe not as straight as you want. Having those volunteers there, I think, is really, really special for what you need to do. I know in my business, I can have all the signs in the world, and I still get the same questions. So, so having somebody there to point you in the right direction, a friendly face, which is what you folks certainly have regularly. So, for people who aren't listening now, who weren't listening about 5 or 10 minutes ago, the emergency room at Samaritan North Lincoln is moving, is starting again. Rick, give them the whole little laydown again.
So April 1st at 6 o'clock in the morning, we will be barricading the entrances to the current emergency room on the street so that you actually can't get to it. We're going to be at the south end of the building. It'll be clearly signed so that there won't be any confusion. We're going to be down in our current rehab from April 1st, and we'll be moving back on April 12th to the new facelifted emergency department.
All right, so about 2 weeks, give or take, for that, and again, the signage. And I love the fact that you cannot get into the area, you're being blocked off.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's really, really special. Anything else we didn't cover?
Well, I kind of would like to... I'm going to throw a shout out to our Lincoln City CERT group. They're going to help us both the move down and the move back. Aaron Ferguson, our emergency management guru, was able to hook up with them to coordinate some of the volunteers to help us not only with the barricading and pointing and directing, but also physically moving all of our stuff. We have to move everything out of the emergency room. Everything has to go out so that they can get all the flooring up as well as getting to our walls. So anything that's hanging on the walls has to come down. Anything that's on the floor has to go. So we're going
It has to come back too.
and has to come back. So we're going to be busy the 1st and the 12th. Busy moving stuff. So thank you preemptively, CERT, for helping us. I'm not sure who is going to be doing it, but thank you preemptively for that. And thank you preemptively for our volunteers who are going to be manning stations for full time during that whole 2 weeks. They're going to be up and helping us. So
and no one should ask you out to dinner or for an evening out on the 1st or the 12th. I think you'll be a little bit busy, right?
I will be going home and putting my feet up and closing my eyes.
No phone calls. All right. Again, the 1st and the 12th, we thank you for stopping in. And we are continuing on the Samaritan Health Report. It is, what is it, about 5.5 minutes in front of the hour.